Well, hello friends, welcome to Rewake Videos. My name is William, so excited that you are here. It's been some time since we have released a video, but we are still here and we are still growing and we are still reaching the goals that we want to be able to reach. So today with this video, I want to be able to check how the markets are performing. And secondly, I want to be able to show you the companies that are doing well today, right? So today is Wednesday, and this video will be published perhaps on Thursday. So by the time when the markets open, so that when the markets open, you already know where you can invest, and hopefully you'll be able to make money from those companies. So this video will help you out if you are a long-term, medium-term, and short-term investor. It doesn't matter, right? So it will also help you to be able to know how to make your research. So for instance, now I'm using SA Shares, and it gets updated, I think, every 15 minutes, if I'm not mistaken. But basically, the information is accurate, right? So we'll be looking at companies that are performing well, that have performed well, so that this video can be able to show you the companies that are doing well and companies that you can be able to invest in. Perhaps next time, what we'll do is that we'll take a look at those companies and go to Easy Equities, since, well, most of you are using Easy Equities. You'd be able to maybe just check if you can be able to find those companies, and when we find them, maybe do a practical way of how you can invest in those companies. But either way, today I just want to show you how I keep in touch with the business world, or JSE, just to see how everything is. So basically, I use SA Shares, I use Invest.com, I use different kinds of apps so that I can be able to get the information that I need that will be able to help me to stay on course in terms of growing, whether with the financial literacy, so that I can be able to help you out. So basically, I encourage you to stay with me for the next maybe 5-10 minutes, so that you can be able to get that knowledge and be able to know how you can find this information. So we'll be looking at that. So let's start here, because I see all share, and I see that in a day, they've performed well. JC All Share performed well, and let's look at a year difference. So you can see there's a minor drop when you look at between the 1st of August and the 1st of November. There's a major dip. But between the 1st of November and the 1st of February, there's a major high, so the markets are picking up. Maybe that's why property are getting more expensive, and, finding stability in, equilibrium state, not really too expensive or too cheap, but just there. So when we look at the top 40 JSE, we notice that there is that equilibrium state, and we've been seeing this a lot for the past 3 months. Let me see. For the past 3 months, you see, there's that equilibrium state that it has found its stability. So if you have invested on the top 40 companies or ETFs on those indexes, then you notice that you're making a profit, and you sometimes not making a profit that much. But either way, this shows us the stability of the top 40 companies, which we use actually to determine how the markets are going. Remember that the top 40 companies tell us how the markets are going, and how things are improving, like South Africa economy and so forth, investments, so that you can be able to know and have that information so that you can be able to know if you were to invest in this top 40 companies, you'd be able to make profit or not. So they give us that information, where to invest, how to invest. Is it a proper time to buy a house? Because they tell us how everything is, the lifespan of the economy, right? So if we were to like drop low, maybe if we can go to, yes, if we were to drop low, if you look at between the 1st of August and the 1st of November, something happened there, right? So for it to drop that low, that means, the country or the economy is not doing well. So we look at the top 40 companies a lot. We pay attention to that a lot, so we can be able to know the life of our economy and our country, how everything is. Let's push it to 5 years. I just want to see. Between June 2020 and January 2020 and January 2021. Remember the COVID period. So everything was not really okay. So if you look at May 18 to January 2020, you notice that there is that equilibrium state that I'm telling you about. So it's just straight, right? So you are making profit, but not making profit. It's just okay. But between Jan 2020 and Jan 2021, there is that dip. Then after that, it goes straight up between Jan 2021 to 2022, right? So that means that we are improving. We are getting back to the South Africa that we know economically. So when we look at go back to all share, let's say 5 years, okay, you see that dip as well because of COVID, right? But between May 18 and June 2020, there is that equilibrium state, right? So between Jan 2021 and Jan 2022, you see that growth chart, right? So fine. Yes, I'm looking for JC large cap. So let's look at this in five years back. You see the same information, the same data. So this is telling us that actually we are getting back to the South Africa that we know economically and so forth, right? But in order for us to know even further and have proper information, I just want to look at, let me just check if there is, okay. Let me see again. Let me just check. Just want to see. Okay, so it's not appearing, but it's fine. Was I searching at? I was searching at the wrong place. Search. Okay, it's not appearing. It's fine. So cool. Let's look at the currencies. Something that also helps us to be able to determine where we are economically, right? So when we look at rand versus dollar, it shows us that dollar is worth 19 rand, British pound 24. It was 23 just yesterday. Euro, it's 20. So as an investor, you're supposed to know all these things because they will be able to help you in terms of becoming an investor that you want to become, a proper million rand or $1 million investor that you want to be able to become. So when you look at the euro versus the dollar, the dollar is, euro is $1 basically. So if you look at that, you would be able to see where we are economically. Remember, 2 years ago, was it 2 or 3 years ago, dollar was worth 17 rand, right? But now things have become a bit shaky. Then we moved to 19, So we need to be able to, as we get back to the South Africa that we want to become, as we get back to the South Africa that we want to, that we were before, would be able to, take it down a notch, maybe go back to $17 or $16. So instead of 19, because 19 is a bit of a stretch, right? So people are unable to invest abroad because it's too expensive. People are unable to invest in other companies which are in the US, in the UK, and so forth, because it's too expensive, right? So we need to be able to take it down so that we can be able to trade and buy and so forth. So let's go to the most important thing for the day. So the reason why we have met is because I wanted to show you some companies that are doing well in the JSE. As you can see, I'm on the tab that says shares up, meaning that the shares that has increased and that has performed better. So we'll be looking at that. Remember that today they might be, performing better. Tomorrow they might not. For instance, when you look at Choppies Enterprise Ltd, it has, closed with a positive 16.13%. So when it opens tomorrow, it's going to open from that point, right? So if it goes down, so they're going to say it went down with negative 1%. Let's say it goes down with 0.1% or 1%, it goes down, the share price or whatever. So that means it's not going to write positive 15 point something. No, it's going to write negative 1%, right? To show you that today it has performed badly, right? So now, Chippies Enterprise Ltd, it went up by 16.13%. So let's see what that looks like. So it moved from, at 12 p.m. it was standing at about between 60 and 50, let's say 63. And at 4:30 to 5 p.m., standing above 70, between 70 and 75. So that means that it performed very well. But let's go back and just look. So when you look at 12 months ago, between the 1st of August and the 1st of November, it went down, right? And it kept on going down between the 1st of November and the 1st of February this year. It went down, but it tried to go up. So between the 1st of May and the 1st of Feb, there was a slight decline. As you can see, the indicator, the green indicator, there was a slight decline. Ne? So, but it improved. It went a bit up. So when it went a bit up, that means that it moved from just being a negative, that it has been losing between the 1st of February. When it goes up between the 1st of May and to date, that means that it has gotten a bit of a positive, because when you look at it, they say it's a positive 16.13, right? So what that means is that it's improving from the point that it was a month ago, for instance. It's improving. So they don't look at where it was, because if they were to go back and say, okay, let's look at the 1st of May 2022, then they would say, no, they're still on the negative, there's a slight positive, like there's 1% positive, right? But when they look at the 1st between the 1st of August and the 1st of November, they would say we're still on the negative. It's not improving. But then now they look at today, on the present day, that today it moved from a certain point and it went a bit higher with 16.13, right? And I hope that you understand that when it went high, 16% high, so that means that the person who's invested where it was yesterday has made a bit of profit, 16% profit, right? So now it's going higher and higher and higher, right? So when it goes back to 100 clicks, right, and becomes stable, that person who invested yesterday would be able to have more profit, and if Chippies pays dividends, then they'll be able to make more dividends. So let's look at Ellis Holdings. Remember, we made a video and we spoke about Ellis Holdings, and it was not performing well. But then now today they said it closed at positive 12.50, right? So let's look at 1 year, right? So as you can see, there's a major dip. Remember, I told you that it was not performing well in the previous video. So it was not performing well, right? I don't know if it was because of the court case or what, but it was not performing well. So it went down. So, but at the point at the point where it was yesterday, it improved with positive. Is it 12%? Yeah, positive 12.50%, right? So from where it was yesterday, and it closed with a positive 12.50%. So meaning that according to the company, they are trying to get back, to that 25 clicks, they're trying to get back. But then according to the indicators, they are trying to get back, but they are struggling, But I see a potential for investment here because, as you know, it's an old company, it has been there, and there's potential for growth, right? Why don't you go back and study who's the CEO and what's happening and so forth, and invest when you are ready? And when you invest, maybe the company will go back to, let me show you. As you can see, it moved from a very high point 10 years ago and it went very low, So maybe if you give it time and just invest that 100 Rand or 1,000 Rand and just leave it there, maybe in time it will get back up again, so that you can be able to make profit. But remember, research is everything. Research is everything. So let's look for companies that we know. African Rainbow Capital Investments. African Rainbow, it improved with 1.64. So let's see, let's go to 10 years. So there's some stability. As you can see, it is stuck between 600 to 80 clicks. So now when we look at 5 years, see there's a bit of improvement. There was that major dip between 2020 and 2021. When we look at 1 year, there is that growth. There is a huge potential of investing. There's a huge potential of investing in this particular company. As you can see that there is growth, and there's stability. So they are going somewhere. So now if you can go on your Easy Equities account, look how much share price is, then you'll be able to make your research and find out what's the vision, where they're going and what they want to attain or achieve. Then after that, you invest according to what you know when you are comfortable. So that is African Rainbow Capital Investment. So let's look for another one that we know. I'm looking for ones that are famous. And okay, I saw Anglo American PLC. I see Anglo American Platinum, but I'm interested in Sasol because everyone has a car. So let's go to 10 years. Okay, now long-term investors, that's why I go for 10 years. As you can see that there's a huge dip between May 2013 to January 2019, right? That is caused by the COVID period. If you look at 2019 to 2021, right? But between 2021 and 2023 to date, you see that there is that pickup, right? But then if you look at, let's go for, not for day, for 3 months. Let's go for 3 months. You can see that there was a slight decline. We don't know what caused that. But then I'm sure there will be that breakthrough for you to be able to make a profit for those who have invested already. But I think in Sasol there is a huge opportunity for someone to be able to invest and be able to, especially for long term, because remember, we will always need fuel. So it's a huge potential for investment, and for you to be able to make profit long term. I'm looking for companies that we know. Maybe let's touch on the last one. I see Centum. I see Investec. Okay, let's go for Investec. Okay, so Investec is at a positive 0.17, right? So it performed well from the point that it closed yesterday. So let's look at one day. This is one day, right? So between 11 a.m. and 3 p.m., or let's say 11 a.m. and the closing, there is that growth period. You see, there was a stability between 11 and 3, but then between 3 and 5, there was that growth period. There's a huge potential for short term investors, right? So let's look at for medium term investors. Medium term investors, not so much, but if they are confident between, as you can see, between the 3rd of April 2023 and the 1st of May, there is that a slight incline. It's going up. So between the 1st of May and to date, there is that shift, to show that they are intending to grow as a company. So when we look for long-term investors, we see that these people, Investec, is intending on making a profit for their investors. So the share price is going up, So I would encourage you to invest. I would encourage you to pour some money so that you can be able to make a profit. So look, in 10 years, the only dip was caused by COVID when you look between 2019 and 2021. But when you look between 2021 and 2023, you see that huge growth, right? So that means that they're intending to grow as a company, especially for long term. So I would encourage you, though the shares might be expensive at that point in time, I would encourage you to invest. I would encourage you to invest so that you can be able to make money in the future. So let's look at one company that went down. One company that went down on shares down. As you can see, I wanted to look at Telkom. It went down with negative 15.62. That's a major dip. That's a huge dip. So as you can see, yeah, it went down. So when it closed on a high the previous day. But when you look at today, it immediately after opening, it went down, the share price, and between 10 and 12, there was a bit of a high so that they can be able to make a profit. But between 12 and 3 p.m., there was a low, and that is a disappointing low. So people that have invested on a high day before, they've lost a lot of money. But if they can keep it for the next couple of months or years, they'll be able to get a profit. For instance, let's look at a year. Yeah, okay, for a year it's been going down. Let's look at 10 years. So there was that major dip as well, and they're struggling to go up. But Telkom is one of the biggest companies in South Africa, and it might pick up as time goes on. So guys, that is me. I hope that you got something, and I hope that you will use this app, so that you can get your information and be able to make money from your investments. We hope and we pray that you'd be able to pour as much as you can into your investments and be able to, don't touch the principal. Allow yourself to grow. Allow your investments to grow. And always remember to reinvest your dividends. If you don't need them, reinvest your dividends so that by the time you need more money, you'll be able to get more money. So guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Please hit the subscribe button. Please hit that notification button. and make sure that you tune in again next week. Thank you so much. Please note, views and opinions in this audio or video should not be taken as financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, nor am I registered with FISCA.